Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories cutscene commentary. It's on to another floor! Yay!
I don't get it. Riku and I, we both want the same thing. Both of us want to help Naminé out. How come we're fighting each other? I mean, Riku and I have argued about stuff in the past, but...
Could be because you care what happens to each other.
I really thought so too. But maybe Riku doesn't.
You can't give up your friends. Time together. Sora, Riku, and... what was her name?
It seems our memories are fading mighty fast. Sora, we gotta hurry. I bet Riku will come around if you just talk to him.
You're right. We three were never apart. Me and Riku and Naminé.
And already... Oh, there goes Kairi! Sorry, Duck, you're not going to be remembered for the rest of the game, so, sorry! Well, I mean, to be fair, even then, Sora's not really going to have any time to properly remember you, so it's going to be at least like a year, so, have fun with that, Duck! But here we are, at last, in Hollow Bastion, which is obviously the castle that everyone forgot the name of right at the beginning of the game. It's nice that we're finally here, although it really is at this point where just all semblance of we've been through these worlds before has just completely and utterly vanished. Because Belle and Beast don't know who we are, we don't know who Belle and Beast are, it's just all a little bit of a disaster. But I suppose, considering, you know, we've just had Kairi be completely forgotten, kind of makes sense. Although that said, obviously, the whole thing that you can do with the worlds, because there's two sort of halves to the game, and you get to select which world you go to within that half. And you can choose any order you like, although pretty much the order that you've seen here is the one that is mostly recommended. And that's pretty much just because of difficulty and the enemies that are inside. Like, the beginning and end floor bosses are always going to be the same no matter what floor you reach. Like, they're always going to be the same on the same floor. But obviously the bosses within the worlds can vary quite a lot in terms of how difficult and challenging they are. And generally what also happens is that the longer you leave them, the harder they get. So sometimes you might want to take on a more challenging one earlier on, so then you don't have to worry about that, but then you might not have the cards to be able to deal with it, and therefore you might want to wait until later, so you've got that whole balancing act that you've got to play. And also I will point out, I had quite the frustration, actually, when I was recording. It was this particular cutscene, because one of the things that was happening has happened. I hope it's not a thing that occurs when, you know, I actually sit down to record gameplay again for a consistent period of time. But in recording these cutscene commentaries, my Elgato, I think it was more the capture software and the USB connection on the capture software that was freaking out, but it kept bugging out around that cutscene in the library. And so, and it happened a couple of times throughout the course of recording the Chain of Memories stuff, which was really infuriating, because the game that I'm going to be covering next, smooth as butter. This one, not so much. It probably just goes down to, you know, the whole thing of I'm not the biggest fan of Chain of Memories, so it was just paying me back in kind by being a frustrating recording session. Despite the fact that it was an easier recording session than actually playing the game, but da-da-da-da-da. And, yeah, it just had that cutscene, just like, I had to go through it a couple of times before I actually got it to work properly. Like, it was all fine on the screen and everything, it was just my computer and this recording software. and it's kind of ridiculous. Like, I honestly don't know why some things freak out sometimes when, like, they've never done it before, and it's just like, there's no reason for you to be a glitchy mess. Like, you're absolutely fine. Stop being a blighter. But, oh dear, Belle's dead. Well, this is a turn for the book. Like, I know she had her heart taken in the original Kingdom Hearts, but certainly a lot more violent than when that first happened. Like, going in, no! Dead. That, I mean, for Disney princesses, that just doesn't happen. I mean, most of the times it's the prince going the no, and then getting killed, and then getting revived, and it all being delightful. I suppose it's a nice twist on the formula. But as you are perfectly aware, she's going to be back, perfect and okay, as soon as we defeat Maleficent. And I can't actually remember which version of Maleficent we face. I believe that it is Dragon Maleficent. But I will say that Dragon Maleficent here is surprisingly easier than Dragon Maleficent, if it is Dragon Maleficent, I think it is, oh yeah, it is Dragon Maleficent. But yeah, she's easier here than she was in the original Kingdom Hearts, and I think it's just because there is that whole card break thing that you can do. Because her attacks are limited to cards, it does just make her a more bearable fight than she was in the original, because in the original she was very, very aggressive. Very unpleasant to fight in general. Whereas here, not quite so bad. And obviously you've also got the gimmick cards, which can be really, really, really insanely helpful. But, oh, look at that. They're all back together. And we just get a nice, quick resolution to Hollow Bastion. But we are very, very quickly rolling on to the final few floors of Castle Oblivion, and the plot is really seriously going to kick into high gear very soon. But that's another floor done! Yay!
Where'd Riku go?
Guess he must have finally got tired of fighting with you.
I sure hope so.
Be helpful if that was the case, wouldn't it?
So what's going on, Vexen? Your Riku was supposed to counter Sora. What's he waiting for? Where is he?
He's hiding somewhere to lure Sora deeper into the castle, right? I suppose we should just leave it at that, you know.
Aha! Oh, I see now. I would have never guessed that. So sorry, Vexen.
Silence!
Predictable response. Forget it. Men without hearts are so boring.
You're one to talk. As if you have such a heart to speak of yourself.
That's enough.
Marluxia.
And here at last we see Marluxia in all his rose petal glory.
Vexen, the simple fact is that your project was a failure. You'd best not disappoint us again.
Disappoint you? You go too far! In this organization, you're number 11. I'm number 4, and I will not have you!
I've been entrusted this castle in Namine by our leader. Defying me will be seen as treason against the organization.
Traitors are eliminated. I believe that's what the rules say.
Who needs a half-baked good-for-nothing anyway?
Vexen, you cannot win against Sora.
Pity to be so ignorant. As you're only able to see the surface of things, I should not expect you to appreciate my true might.
Oh? Then let us watch as you prove it.
What?
None of us wish to be suspicious of a comrade.
Your insincerity is comforting.
You give a challenge like that to Vexen and he'll seriously want to eliminate Sora.
That would be an unfortunate denouement. What to do? Your hero is soon to be wiped from existence. But I believe there is a certain promise that he made you. Isn't that right, Naminé?
Yes.
Oh, poor Naminé, just getting completely screwed over by everyone around her. It sucks for her.
And that must mean we've lost 10 whole floors worth of our memories.
Including Kairi.
Sora, it's still not too late. Don't you think we should turn back?
Can't do it. Because that would break an old promise that I made.
An old promise? What would that be?
On the islands, I promised Naminé that I'd keep her safe, no matter what. But I forgot it. I didn't remember until I started forgetting everything else. A promise between the two of us. That's why I can't leave. Now that I remember the promise, I have to keep it.
Of course. We understand, Sora.
And here we are, in one of the final worlds that you really get to explore. I think it's the final one on the circuit that you get, actually, and it's the 100 Acre Wood, which doesn't actually have any battles in it, from what I recall. It's pretty much just mini-games throughout the entire thing. It's really delightful, actually. And it's a nice pause, really, in terms of the whole span of the game, because we've had a lot of very tense and in-depth massive air quotation marks stories throughout, obviously, like Hollow Bastion, Atlantica, blah 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 blah, and there's been lots of fighting and just that card mechanic that I don't like. And 100 Acre Wood is just a breath of fresh air because it's just all mini-games as you go through it. And it really is just a nice, delightful little side nugget. So I think most people would probably recommend leaving it till right at the end of the second half of the cycle. Well, to the end of Act 2 sort of thing. So you've got Act 1, which is the first round of things, and Act 2 is the second round of cards that you get. Just because then you've not got challenging fights during it, you've got nice, easy sort of save point access before you leave the world, because you're going to go into some somewhat challenging fights from what I recall. And you kind of want to be just prepared for those, and this is your chance to really make sure you're prepared for that. And also, to be fair, the minigames are all pretty fun from what I recall. I mean, let me have a look. It's been a very, very long time since I actually looked at what these were. So you have Finding Piglet, which is really, really simple. It's literally just catch him out of one of the barrels. It's the pumpkin that's rolling down the hill there. Just find him in one of the bushes. That's it. Then you've got Veggie Panic, which you get by smashing, I think it's lettuces and pumpkins to the side, and just, you know, stopping Pooh from being an absolute ass, because he'll just wander into the fray and be really stupid. You need to get 30 veggies, and you can only make 6 mistakes. But really, this one's not too bad in the grand scheme of things. It's quite fun from what I recall. And also you get some relatively good stuff from some of these. So, nice cards, nice easy time. It really is what I would recommend as your final world of choice, just to have that breather before the plot really kicks into high gear. So yes, the game that you have after Veggie Panic is Balloon Glider, where you glide up the tower, picking up things of honey, picking up extra balloons. You can get popped if you hit bees or branches, and basically you want to try to get the maximum of 500 points. It's not overly difficult, but getting all 500 points can be a little bit of a challenge. And yeah, then we just move on over to the next minigame, which is, as soon as, you know, he appears on screen, it's Digger's Jumpathon, which is, it's basically Simon Says, and it's really not that difficult. I think it probably can get more difficult once you get past the required number of jumps, but why you'd want to stay on too much past that outside of, you know, completing stuff in your report, Jimmy's journal, not really a thing that's required. And then there's only 2 left. One of which is fun, one of which is it's a bit disappointing, actually. So yes, the next one is in here, and it is called a Whirlwind Plunge. There's a very windy well, which blows you up into the air, and then you freefall collecting honey ball prizes. And that's actually really fun, and just it effectively is the precursor to the dive games, mini-games, traversal games in Dream Drop Distance, actually. But it's definitely a highlight in here, and I do very much appreciate it. It's great fun. And then we're about to get on down into it. The final one is something called Bumble Rumble, where effectively you get to try to defeat 50 bees whilst Pooh Bear's running around like a nana. And that you've got to, you know, prevent him from losing health, but you have a whole bunch of bee-related cards, which can get really infuriating, actually. It's probably my least favourite of all of the mini-games that are on offer, just because, well, it's because it relies on the card combat, of course it is. Like, sometimes I'm thinking, oh, it wasn't that bad, and then I think about all the bits of the game that I don't like, and actually, it's all that. Oh, God. You try to be fair to games when you do playthroughs and stuff, because, you know, you don't want to come across as a moaner, moaning Minnie, moaning Myrtle. Definitely not moaning Myrtle. But sometimes you experience something and it just gets under your skin, and then you just like, well, I kind of am a bit this is a thing that is really infuriating me and preventing me from fully enjoying the game. And since it's so all-pervasive in the game, it therefore just means that you don't have a very good overall perception of the game. And it's a bit like, oh, well, that's a bit sucky. But either way, 100 Acre Wood is still a delightful world to experience in Rechain of Memories, and I do really like it and really appreciate it. Particularly because we are about to go into some really quite challenging fights.
Who are you?
I am Vexen.
This being one of them, it's time to fight
Vexen.
Vexen.
Sora.
A debt? Sora, do you owe something to this guy?
Come on, of course not.
Oh, but you do. You owe me for reuniting you with your former friend.
You don't mean...
Indeed I do. I'm the one who brought Riku to you.
Then... You're the one who's been controlling him! What have you done with him?
I see no need to give you information about where Riku is. After all... Why trouble you in your final hour? As I expected, you weren't one to die very easily.
As if I'd ever lose to you!
I wouldn't be so sure. Did you even notice? I was delving deep into your memory as we fought. And here, look what I found. A card crafted from all the memories that are locked in the other side of your heart.
Wait! Memories? In the other side?
If Sora disappears, that would mess up the organization's plans.
I trust that you know what you need to do.
Haven't a clue, really. Maybe you could spell it out for me.
Vexen has clearly committed a treasonous act against the organization. You must eliminate the traitor.
No taking that back later.
So yes, it is all about to kick off well and truly.
A card made out of memories from the other side of your heart? I wonder what it does.
We'll find out soon enough. It's the only one we have left. No other way to move forward.
Now, actually, this is a really fascinating thing for the game to do, and my god, that clock tower texture's really not aged well. Because, yeah, this is technically the first time in the story of Kingdom Hearts where Twilight Town was introduced. And obviously you would have gotten to this bit in the original Chain of Memories and just been like, what's going on? Now, I can't quite remember what the some of the differences. I mean, let's see here. Okay, I'm just doing random stuff in things that I don't want to do. So, now I thought that they didn't actually have most of a playable Twilight Town in the original Chain of Memories, but it does seem that they did. So that's not something that is notably new. But there are still a few changes that occur in Twilight Town. Notably in the cutscene that occurs at the end of it, which is coming up pretty much about now. And yeah, pretty much from this point onwards, we are getting voiced cutscenes out the wazoo. This is the point where the story really begins to come into its own. We will probably have a few in the final world, but outside of that, lots and lots of voiced cutscenes.
You must have come here sometime before.
No, and that's what's strange.
It could be like with Nominee. You forgot lots of other stuff, and that's why you remember this place now.
No, it's different. With Nominee, my memories sort of came drifting back to me, a little piece at a time. But not now. It's not memories, just this idea that I must have been here before.
So, feeling nostalgic? Sora, a question then for you. Your memories of Nominee or your feelings here? Which of the two of these is more real, I wonder?
Nominee, of course. Whatever it is that I'm feeling, I bet it's just another one of your mean little tricks.
The memory's wiles can be cruel. In its silence, we forget. In its obsession, it binds our hearts.
Cut the riddles!
I told you. This place was created solely from another side of your memory. It is on the other side of your heart that the memory of this place exists. It is your heart that remembers.
You're wrong! I don't know this place!
If you remain bound by the chain of memories and refuse to believe what is truly found inside your heart, then throw it away. You are not a Keyblade master, just a slave to twisted memories. Yes, exactly like my Riku. Your existence is worth nothing!
Like your Riku? Worth nothing? That's enough! You're the one who changed Riku! Every word you've said is a lie! I'd never throw away my heart! I'm gonna take you down and save Riku and Nominee! That's what's in my heart!
Yeah, the fight against Vexen is pretty difficult, surprisingly enough. But once you've taken him down, it's just like, oh, that was satisfying.
Just put Riku back!
Just put him back? The Riku you speak of has but one fate, to sink into the darkness. And you will share that fate, Sora. If you continue to seek the girl Nominee, the shackles will tighten. You'll lose your heart and end up becoming Marluxia's pawn.
Marluxia? What does Nominee have to do with... Axel!
Yo, Sora. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Axel, why?
I came to stop you from talking too much. By eliminating your existence.
No, don't do it!
We are just nobodies who have no one to be, yet we still are. But now you can be nothing instead of just being a nobody. You're off the hook.
No! Please don't! I don't want it!
Goodbye.
And that is the end of Vexen in a really, really freaking brutal manner.
What are you people?
Just decimates him with a goodbye. Oh, chilling.
Don't know. I wonder about that myself.
Nice work. I say good riddance to that blabbermouth.
Marluxia, you used Vexen to test Sora's strength, didn't you?
Not just Sora's, it was yours too. We weren't sure if you actually had it in your bones to take out a fellow member. Well, I guess that you did. It's time to join up. Taking over the organization will be like child's play with the three of us.
So that's where Sora comes in.
Of course. He wants to see Naminé, so why don't we just give him what he wants?
Rejoice, Naminé. The time is near for you to meet the hero that you've been longing for.
I'm glad.
But I'm warning you. You better not do anything to betray Sora's feelings. Do you understand me, little one?
I understand.
All you need do is layer Sora's memories and bring his heart closer to you.
Sora. Even if you come for me, what then?
Oh, poor Naminé. I just feel so bad for her throughout the entirety of this game. It's awful.
Riku!
You'll hurt Naminé if
Oh, would you look at the time? It's time for another Riku
still
replica
wanna fight?
fight, if I recall correctly.
Vexen's gone, so now you're free.
It doesn't matter what happens to him. I'm protecting Naminé from you. That's what's in my heart. Sora, I made a promise to Naminé. I promised to keep her safe.
You did?
There was a meteor shower this one night when she and I were little. Naminé got scared and said, what if a shooting star hits the islands? So I told her, if a shooting star comes this way, I will protect you.
You made a promise with a toy sword.
What? How do you know about that?
Because that was the promise I made to her that night. I would protect her. I said it.
Don't lie! You weren't the one there that night.
You're the one who wasn't there.
Oh,
That
the
was
joy
when
of fake
she gave her
memories.
good luck charm to
Always
me.
delightful, hey.
Her what?
See?
Tell me, where did you get that? Sora. Good try.
Huh?
That must be a fake. I've got the real one right here.
Well, two of them?
Two?
Should be destroyed.
Seems an ongoing thing in the Kingdom Hearts series. There's always two of something.
Riku.
I forgot Naminé's good luck charm.
It's just like mine. How'd he get this?
Well, I mean, she could have made two good luck charms, so it's certainly possible. Either that or, you know, the other one's completely fake. Which it seems like it is.
It turned into a...
So, yeah.
I don't understand what's going on.
Let's just keep moving, okay? It doesn't matter.
It does matter. How can two of you have the same memory?
Fake memories,
You
we've
can't
explained
both
this.
be right.
I'm wrong. Fine, then don't believe me.
That's not what he meant. We're just kinda worried.
Then let's ask Naminé. That should clear it up. Look, we don't have time to sit around, so let's go!
Sora, what happened to you?
What's that mean?
Well, you always get real touchy when it comes to stuff about Naminé. But before we came to this castle, you didn't even remember what her name was.
Now Naminé's the only thing you talk about.
It doesn't make sense. Maybe you should just slow down and think ahead about some of these things.
Think ahead? What is the matter with you guys? Do you want me to abandon her?
No, that's not it.
Then do whatever you want. You can lay back and take a nap for all I care. I'm going to find Naminé.
Sora!
Oh, the stubborn fools. Especially considering, you know, they were talking sense. A lot of sense. Ugh. Sometimes that boy is a Laurent himself.
You're all that he's got left. So then, if you don't stop this, no one will.
But it's too late.
You shouldn't give up just yet. Say, Naminé, have you noticed Marluxia doesn't seem to be around?
What are you saying?
Just that there's no one here who would want to get in your way. Just make it count. Now this should be interesting. Try and make it enjoyable, Sora.
Axel, you
It's the least you
cheeky,
can do for me,
sneaky,
you know.
playful, manipulative bastard man. This is why we love you.
Hey, wait. I'm enjoying this. You guys are something else.